Good evening, and welcome to the final briefings of the Capstone Workshop in Integrative Sustainability Management. It's a key course in the Master of Science in Sustainability Management program here at Columbia. I'd like to welcome all of the students and guests who are here with us tonight, as well as our viewers on live stream. The purpose of tonight's event is to showcase the work that some 50 of our students have done over the past semester. They have organized in teams of about 10 people, and they've taken on, as you will see, really tough sustainability management problems on behalf of clients who are either governments or not-for-profit organizations. In our program, the Capstone Workshop replaces the thesis, and that's because we want students to get practical experience in applying the knowledge and skills that they have learned throughout the program. As you will see by hearing the presentations over the next couple of hours, these projects involve all of the elements of sustainability management, all of the curricular elements of our program. So there's general and financial management involved, economics, quantitative analysis, public policy, financial management, and of course, sustainability concepts and ideas. So let me tell you how the program will run tonight. We will hear 5 presentations of 10 minutes each. I will call each presenter to the podium to make a presentation. We will then take a few minutes of questions and then a 5-minute break between each of the presentations. For those of you who are watching on live stream, during the 5-minute break, the volume will be muted, and I will then come back to the podium, call the next presenter, and we will do that 5 times. During the breaks, you're welcome to, if you're in the room, go back and continue to enjoy the refreshments and snacks. If you're at home watching on live stream, you're on your own. Okay, so we will begin with a presentation on a very difficult waste management problem in Guinea. Please welcome Crysta, who is our presenter.
Thank you, George. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to, thank you for coming to the Capstone Final Briefings. I'm Crysta Gentile, and I'll be presenting my team's work on developing household waste management solutions in Conakry. Our client is the United Nations Development Program in Guinea. They develop partnerships at all levels of society to eradicate poverty through sustainable development. Tonight, I'll describe the problem we addressed, our methodology, our proposed solutions, and our recommendations for UNDP. Guinea is located in West Africa. Conakry is its capital city, and it has 5 municipalities. It was once considered the Pearl of Africa, but now poorly managed household waste has undermined that reputation. Here you can see a few images of the current situation. Factors impacting the city's waste problem include a rapidly growing urban population, an increase in plastic imports and use of plastic products, and a lack of physical and administrative capacity in local governments. This waste problem is polluting Conakry's streets, threatening local industries like fishing, hurting the health of its residents, and increasing flooding. UNDP tasked us with helping them understand the problem and identifying potential solutions and partners. Our project consisted of 3 phases: research, analysis, and deliverable development. First, we researched the waste management system in Conakry to understand what isn't working. At the same time, we identified case studies of potential solutions at varying scales in comparable cities to understand what could work. We started broad, but used conversations with stakeholders in Conakry to understand what was feasible and to narrow our focus areas. 3 of our team members went to Conakry over spring break and met with organizations, government agencies, and academics working on waste management. They helped us understand how many people are currently working on this issue and to narrow our focus even further so we didn't duplicate efforts. These conversations helped us identify potential partners that UNDP can work with. We used all of this information to build economic models of the current system, as well as the 3 waste diversion solutions we identified as most feasible. These models helped us quantify the value of the solutions and are the basis of our recommendations. Our research found that over 25,000 tons of household waste is produced each month in Conakry. On the right side of the screen is the composition of that waste. As you can see, a large portion of monthly waste is recyclable or organic. The diagram here depicts how the current system works. Small private waste haulers collect waste from households using hand carts and transport it to collection points throughout the city. Each household pays a monthly fee for this service. From collection points, waste is hauled by garbage trucks to the city's landfill, which is overflowing. Both segments of the system are undersized. Over 5,000 tons of waste per month is left as litter on the streets and never picked up, while another portion of the waste is left at collection points because of a lack of trucking capacity and never makes it to the landfill. The system is complicated by the fact that its 2 segments are paid for and administered by different parties. The small waste haulers are paid directly by households, while the garbage trucks that transport waste from collection points to the landfill are largely run and paid for by Conakry's 5 separate municipalities. Few organizations are focused on the intersection between these 2 parts of the system. Given UNDP's role in creating systemic change through partnerships, we focused our solutions on redesigning this intersection. Our system-wide economic modeling addresses system capacity, while our small business solutions can remove waste from the stream before it's transported to collection points, decreasing strain on the system. This approach will create new economic opportunity through the reuse and recycling of waste. To ease strain on the system and facilitate growth in private entrepreneurship before waste arrives at collection points, we're proposing 3 solutions: a mobile buyback program, composting, and community cookers. Our research points to the benefits of waste sorting at the household level, so we're proposing that households can be incentivized through a points or payment system called a mobile buyback program to sort their recyclable waste such as plastics and metals. The sorted waste would still be collected by small waste haulers, but instead of transporting it to a collection point, it would be sold directly to recyclers or exporters for a profit. Households' incentives would relate to the quantity and the quality of the waste that they provide. Organic waste also has potential added value as it can be composted. And organic and non-organic waste can be turned into energy using community cookers, which burn waste in an environmentally controlled way to create heat and hot water. These options reduce the amount of waste entering the waste stream while providing value through a secondary market for non-recyclables and through reduced costs for fuel and fertilizer. Now I'll explain our economic models. First, we created models for each of the 3 solutions: a mobile buyback program, composting, and community cookers, to understand the potential waste diverted from each solution. We calculated the upfront cost and the revenue stream so that UNDP can assess the viability and financial sustainability of each of these solutions. Composting and community cookers have land and social constraints, so we examine the impact of 1% of total waste diverted for each of these solutions. We know that 1% is reachable and can eventually be scaled even larger. For non-organics, we calculated that 25% of the existing waste haulers could integrate recycling into their operations and calculated the waste diverted from that assumption. Using these models, we calculated the total waste diverted from landfill if all 3 solutions were deployed in Conakry, which is about 1,500 tons of waste per month. Next, we built a model to understand the underlying drivers of capacity in the system. Based on how much waste is produced each month and how much is left behind in streets and collection points, we know that only 78% of waste is collected each month in the current system. Based on assumptions about how much a truck and a cart can carry, we calculated the number of loads necessary to operate at the current system and at a fully optimized system with waste diversion in place. The optimal scenario represents a system where 3 diversion solutions are implemented so that post-consumer goods with value are captured and 100% of the remaining monthly waste is collected, so none is left behind on streets or at collection points. The corresponding waste fees represent a flat fee collected from each household in order to sustain the 2 systems. It is calculated using a constant cost to collect and transport each ton of waste by carts, and it serves as a good point of reference for what private waste haulers should charge. From this model, we learned that by charging each household an appropriate waste collection fee, small private waste haulers can grow their businesses and collect a total of 22% more waste. With the diversion solutions in place, each household will pay 6% less for waste collection than they would in a system where 100% of the waste is diverted, but none of it is diverted from landfill. Therefore, if solutions are implemented at a larger scale, or if additional diversion solutions are put in place, the waste fee can be lowered even further. For UNDP, in order for UNDP to use these models properly to assess and understand applications for Conakry, we recommend 3 areas for future research as part of a second phase of this project. First, as mentioned, community cookers and composting have physical, land, and social constraints for proper implementation. We calculated 1% diversion of total waste as a conservative and reachable target. To truly scale all 3 of our solutions, we recommend UNDP work with the University of Conakry to use spatial data to understand the variables critical for success. Second, equity is a vital issue. Examining household incomes and designing a progressive waste fee that reflects households' capacity to pay will ensure cost recovery for waste haulers and wider access to the service. UNDP's intervention at the intersection of the private and public aspects of waste management allows for new economic opportunities for small entrepreneurs, women, and youth. These groups are critical for sustainable development and are a focus of UNDP. Although there are a number of players already working on waste management in Conakry, gaps still prevent progress. Most notably, few organizations have worked to integrate the privately and publicly funded parts of the system. We believe UNDP is ideally positioned to help bridge these 2 components. Thank you for your time. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Okay, questions for Crysta, please. Okay, just a moment. You need to use the microphone in order to be heard.
Did you guys identify some potential buyers of the recycled items?
Yes, so there are already 2 recycling companies in operation in Conakry, and they would like to scale their operations, but a reason that they're not able to do that is that the current recyclable waste is not clean enough or of high enough quality because it's not being sorted at its source of households. So there is a desire to scale those operations that can be used through better sorting.
Crysta, is the government open to your suggested solutions?
Yes, it is actually a national priority because Guinea is hosting the Africa Cup in a few years, and so the national government has made waste management a priority before then, and UNDP is helping to identify the most innovative solutions for doing so.
Okay, thank you very much. Nice job.